Hello everybody and welcome back to the Danish Woodsman. If you saw my last review and are now tuning into this one, you will probably have guessed by the title that we are going to take a look at another folding knife here today. And if you are wondering, are you turning into a full-time folding knife review channel? The answer is no. But today we are going to look at another folding knife. Last time we looked at the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, and today it's time to look at the knife that we teased in that video, this beast, the Zero Tolerance 0452 CF. So if you're excited for my thoughts and review of this knife, don't go away. So guys, before we jump into the review, I think it's reasonable for me to give a bit of context of why I ended up buying this knife and then give you a quick overlook over the specs. So let's start with the question, why did I buy this knife? Well, I wanted to expand my urban EDC and I wanted to carry a full-size folder with a nice quality and with a very aesthetically pleasing look that could do many tasks and still feel comfortable in the hand, because I feel like many folders are compromised in the handle ergonomics, and that many folders quickly become and feel very small. And I wanted a full-size one I felt that could do a lot of different jobs, everything from utilitarian cutting to sort of crafty tasks, and occasionally, if the situation should arise, it can also cut cheesecakes if I were to encounter those, which I obviously hope I am not. So that's the reason why I ended up with this knife, and now I'll quickly tell you the specs so you can get an idea of its general dimensions. For those who don't know, this is a zero tolerance, which means that it is made in the US of A. It is based on another zero tolerance knife which was made in only a very limited number. That was the 0454. And when that knife was very popular, they decided to reincarnate it in a various different configurations. So this is the Zero Tolerance 0542, and this is the CF version, carbon fiber version, which means that this has the carbon fiber front and the titanium back. They have done several spirit runs with a different front scale and a different blade steel. We will come back to the blade steel on this one later. It is a manual opening knife. It's opened only using the flipper here, and it runs on a KVT ball bearing system. As I said before, it is a frame lock with a stainless steel inlay in here, and it is reversible, so it's completely ambidextrous. With the pocket clip, it can be mounted both left and right side. The steel on this is, as you can see here, S35 VN steel, which is a very nice steel, and I will come back to that later in the video if we can get a focus on that maybe. There we go. You can see I will just run down the information here. Obviously the top, it says 0542 CF, which is the model name, and it's a Sienkiewicz design, which tells us that this knife was designed in collaboration between Zero Tolerance and Dmitry Sienkiewicz, who is a Russian knife designer, and it's made in the US of A with S30 VN steel, and the serial number down here is individual to each knife, obviously. The blade steel, as I said, is S35 VN, and the blade is both stonewashed and has a satin finish. You can see it's stonewashed up here with the CT logo, and the blade itself has a satin finish. I don't know how well you're able to see, but I hope it's possible. The handle is obviously on the front made from carbon fiber and titanium at the back, as I mentioned. And it has a deep carry pocket clip, which is fairly deep carry, but you still have quite a big amount of knife, or not big amount, but you have definitely some knife sticking out your pocket when you're carrying this with the standard clip here. As far as the dimension goes, we have a blade length of a whopping 4.1 inches, which is 10.4 centimeters. We have a closed length, I'll just close it up so you can see it here, of 5.2 2 inches, which translates into 13.2 centimeters, and with an overall length of 9.3 inches, which translates into 23.6 centimeters, and the overall weight of 4.6 ounces, which is 130 grams. So for a quick size comparison, we got the PM2 from last time, which many of you may know, and the PM2 is by no means a small knife, but the zero tolerance definitely make it look like one. And we have the Bark River 1.5 LT, just because, yeah, you can see the 1.5 LT would by many be considered a medium to large fixed blade, and you can see the zero tolerance is not that much small. So now that we have the specs out of the way, let's jump into my thoughts on the flipping action. So guys, as we did with the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, we are also going to take a look at the action here, because for many people who are interested in folding knife, the action and the way and the smoothness within the knife's deployment is a very crucial part of the overall enjoyment of the knife. And if you are looking into buying this knife, it probably has something to do with either you like the aesthetics, or you have heard the flipping is amazing, because this knife is generally known in the knife community as a great flipper with great action. And I'm pleased to say it's definitely true. It has a very, very smooth deployment. The KVT ball bearing system definitely makes this smooth like butter, and it is definitely also a nice free dropper. You can see it's just dropping shot without any resistance whatsoever. And this, as I said, partly has to do with two things probably. One, the ball bearing system, which just makes this run super duper smooth, and two, we have this enormous 10 centimeter blade putting weight on itself in order to drop shot without any effort. You can see me just placing the knife here, super light, and it's just gonna fall shot without any resistance almost whatsoever. So super nice. The flipper tab itself is nice and big. We have some jimping up here on the front, not too aggressive, but enough to catch your finger. But I have never had a deployment fail with this. It flips open every single time you hit that tab. The detent is nice and strong, and definitely you're not gonna deploy this knife by accident either. And you can see it can easily catch the knife or the blade on the detent here, and it can definitely also hold the blade. But when you get past the detent, it's just a nice free dropper. You can see compared here to the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, which we discussed last time, which is, definitely not a free dropper. Perhaps if I help it a bit with the compression, like there we go. But overall, the action and the opening on the zero tolerance here is just outstanding, and it's considered by many as the best flipping production knife, or largely made a large scale numbered production knife. That was on purpose, and I only flipped the haft open there on purpose, if you were to wonder. So amazing action. Let's jump into the handle. So we're just jumping from one good thing to another great thing, the handle. And as I said, one side here is the nice and very weavy carbon fiber, and the back side here is the super nice Stonewatch titanium. And the carbon fiber really shines, in my opinion. We have some it's not a boring carbon fiber by any means. It's super nice and weaved, and you can definitely see some texture in here, and you can really feel it's nice quality. It feels good. I have taken this knife apart, and you can see on the inside, you can't see, but I could see when I took it apart, on the inside it's a full carbon fiber scale. There's no cheating about it. The Stonewatch size feels really nice, high quality titanium, put together super well with this very pretty pivot, which is free spinning, so it can be quite tricky to take it apart, but nonetheless, and with the super boring backspaces here, this is the only thing I have to complain about. They could maybe have put a bit of a more, I guess, something else than black that on these standoffs, but whatever, it sort of fits the knife black and gray theme. Before we talk about the actual handle, let's just quickly talk about the pocket clip. This is a standard CT pocket clip. They say it's deep carry. I guess you could say it's deep carry. It's okay. Some people complain about the CT logo if you want to go kind of incognito and unnoticed. It can be sort of disturbing to that image if you have the CT logo on here, because if people know what zero tolerance is and they spot this pocket clip, they will know instantaneously what you are carrying in your pocket. As far as ergonomics go, this is absolutely amazing, and especially for a folder. Look at the size of this handle, guys. I have large size hands and I have a full finger to spare down here. This handle is enormous, and that's a very good thing on a folder. And I was very worried when I got into the folder world that I was not able to find a folder which would fit my hand, and this definitely does. It is a really big handle with a whole finger to spare, and I can hold it in different positions. We have the most natural position here with the finger in the most forward, almost chawl here, and you just are locked in super tight with the flipper tab here acting as a guard, so your finger does not slip up onto the blade. And overall, I really enjoyed the ergonomics. You can see that has been done a lot on CT and Dmitry Sinkovich parts in designing this to make sure it was really comfortable. You can see the almost finger grooves we have here. So I really enjoy the ergonomics. As I said, I really enjoy a handle that they have allowed themselves to make a handle that they are generously large enough to literally fit everybody's hands, even the people with the biggest hands, and I'm really grateful for that. And so I said, in terms of the ergonomics, I really love the size of the handle. It is quite thin, but the way that it's contoured with these finger groups just makes it sit really naturally well in the hand, and the thinness really doesn't affect the overall ergonomics. So if I had to choose a folder to sit down with for an extended period of time and do a lot of work, this would definitely be it. This is a very comfortable folder. In terms of how much the pocket clip obscures those amazing ergonomics, well, I guess it's not that bad actually, because this part where the pocket clip bends in naturally falls in right here with my little finger, and actually do not disturb me or give me any hot spots whatsoever. So the handle is really cool. Definitely a highlight for me. Very happy about that. Let's jump into the blade. So guys, let's jump into the blade, and this is where it begins to get quite, or at least a bit tricky for some. As I said, we have this enormous blade length of over 10 centimeters. But let's start on the top here with the jimping. The jimping is running downwards, which is kind of unconventional for some, with the jimping here being quite rough, but the jimping is made in such a way that it is kind of deep, but the tops, these small peaks, if I can get it to focus here, are rounded off really nicely, and it just gives it a really nice texture. It's not too aggressive, and it doesn't want your finger, or doesn't want to make your finger slide onto the switch here, but it just works. You know, it's nice to see some jimping, or to see a company get the jimping right, because or at least I also said very nice things about the Spartacus jimping here, and it seems to me at least that the folding knives companies I have checked out, which is Spartaco and Zero Tolerance, have done a significantly better job on jimping than the fixed blade brands such as Sparkro. You can see how aggressive this jimping on the 1.5 LT here is compared to the Spydercos. Yeah, so besides the jimping, what we find on the blade here is the Zero Tolerance logo here, the CT, the famous CT logo, and the things we took a look at earlier on here, the backside, this 0542 CF Sinkovich design, USA S35VN steel, and a serial number. And the S35VN steel is a super duper steel, and I will say the same things I said about the Spartacus S30V steel. It was once considered as a super steel. You can argue whether or not it's still considered a super steel, but what S35VN will get you is a very resistant, very user resistant or wear resistant steel. So you'll have to use this blade for a very long time before you need to sharpen it. And it will also give you a good rust resistance. So overall, a good steel for a EDC knife, or at least the knife that will see for me only EDC tasks. So the blade features a on top here, as I said, the jimping and this enormous switch, and this is quite unique because the switch doesn't follow all the way to the spear of the end of the tip of the blade, it's called, obviously. So it kind of ends right here, which means you have a structure on the blade here where it goes from the jimping, so it's thick, then it thins out into the switch here, and then it thickens towards the edge again. You can see how it thickens up towards the edge here, which may seem quite odd because one of the functions that a switch usually have is to thin the blade towards the tip for a more efficient stabbing and penetrating capability. But this is not the case here. Instead, this, as I said, it thickens towards the end because the switch ends. And the trade-off for that is it's probably not as good for penetrating, but it has a much stronger tip. And I think that's really nice trade-off. I don't plan on stabbing anything with this besides vegetables. So it's nice to know I'm not gonna have to worry about breaking the tip all the time. So instead, I really think the tip serves a aesthetic, serves as a aesthetic pleasingly feature, and also as a balancing and as a way for the designer to take out some weight on the top of the knife here in order to balance it out. It is quite a big blade, and it is understandable why he would or could want to take out a bit of weight by putting a switch up here. As far as the cutting goes, this is a full flat grind, I believe, and people have complained that this does not have the best geometry behind the edge, and I must say I kind of disagree. I find this to be a very good cutter. You can see it just jumps nice shot, but other people would definitely tell you that this does not have the best slicing geometry. I'm not a knife edged geometry master, but in my experience, this is a very nice cutter. The full flat grind definitely gives it the ability to bite very nice into the material. So I'm very happy with the blade, and I really think, even though the switch, it's kind of weird, it ends here, it really gives it a very nice aesthetic. So that was my thoughts on the handle and the blade and the action. Let's jump into the final conclusion. So guys, for my final conclusion, I would quickly like to talk about the fit and finish, and I have to say I have zero complaints. Super nice fit and finish. I received a absolutely flawless knife out of the box. I would say a pro tip here I've learned afterwards is when you take this knife apart the first time, soak it in hot water, heat it up. Don't heat it up in as I'm gonna melt the knife, but give it a slight heating with a hairdryer before taking it apart, because that will definitely help up loosening up the screws and definitely prevent you from screwing up your nice pivot like I did. Second of all, definitely love the zero tolerance lifetime warranty. They will send you new pivots, new screws, or anything else if you mess that up. So I also really love that. With that out of the way, let's talk about the knife. And it can all be summed up in one very short sentence, which is what is not to love. You have a great material choice. You have the S35 VN steel, you have the carbon fiber, and you have the titanium scales. You have a nice, generously sized handle, which is big enough to fit everybody's hands with nice ergonomics, which is not obscured in any way, shape, or form by the pocket clip. You have a huge blade in a great steel with a really, really pleasing aesthetic and a good tip, which is not going to break on you due to the switch thickening out towards the tip. A full flat grind, which makes it a super good slicer, and a overall super slender profile. I really want to emphasize this. Take a look at this huge zero tolerance compared to the Spyderco Parameter 02, which is actually smaller. But look how they are next to each other when they are folded. Look how much thinner the zero tolerance is compared to the Spyderco Permanent Tool 2. This makes this an excellent carry. This is a slender knife which will disappear completely in your pocket, even though it's a absolute beast of a knife. So in conclusion, I really love this. I love that I have found a knife which is super capable, a full-size folder that doesn't take up all of the room in my pocket, which is actually easily, or not easily, for some this may be a big knife to carry, but which is reasonably carryable. So I would definitely recommend this knife to everybody who are looking for a full-size folder that they can easily carry and that will do a lot of jobs with a nice economic and a good blade and nice materials overall. Overall. So before this video ends, I just want to have to just take a moment more of your time to also announce something very exciting about this knife, because I have liked this knife so much. I have decided to make this the first project knife for the channel, and this means I will be replacing almost everything on this knife except from the blade and the opening system. So probably the front scale will be changed, maybe the back scale will be changed, and the pocket clip will definitely be changed, and all these small screws here will definitely also be changed. So if you are excited or have any suggestions to what I should do to this knife, definitely make sure to leave them down in the comments below. I already have some plans and I already have some parts on the way. I'm very excited to share with you when they get here, and that is also why I wanted to get this review done right now, because as I said, I will very soon begin to upgrade this knife with all sorts of custom parts. So now that we got that out of the way, be sure to stay tuned and check out my new videos. And in the meantime, I really think you should go out and enjoy the beautiful nature. And I'll see you out there. Peace out.